Thanks for joining me on Gear Review Friday. This is the art of prepping. As you can imagine, and you can see that I have a Spyderco box. It's a real Spyderco, not these knockoffs you get over from China. And as you can see here, it is model number C88SBBK Salt 1 Black. Oh yeah, so obviously it comes in this little box. It has the plastic little bubble wrap, and of course the product information and warranty guide, as we all know that comes with those knives. Now let's look at the knife here, and it's really nice, guys, really nice. This is the Spyderco Salt 1. This is the new 2016 version with the non-reflective black on black different layout here. I mean, the only thing that's not black is this the pivot point here and the two screws. Well, the backing here of the screws. And so, and this, of course, this pin that goes through there, the locking back pin. But between those two things, everything else is completely black. I guess you could say maybe this engraving here is kind of more of a very light gold, if you will. And there's also some lettering here. I got it very well oiled, as you can see. I'm going to have to wipe some of that off. It's definitely a light gold as well for the lettering, where it says Spyderco H-1 and Seiki City, Japan. Now, I'm just going to keep this open while we talk about it. This is the model number C88SBBK. Once again, the MSRP is $134.95 according to the Spyderco website. You can get them on Amazon between $80 to $82. I got mine just under $82. Just you doing some rough math there, then you're talking about roughly around 50. You can get them between $50 to $55 off retail on Amazon, which is actually pretty good. For the materials that we're going to go over, you'll see that this is not a normal, ordinary knife by any means. I really like this knife. I got this not for an everyday utility blade, because I have plenty of those. This is not my main EDC knife. This is an EDC knife though, but it's going to be now going to be for my defensive use. It'd be a backup defensive tool. And so maybe a lot of people might say, well, the tip is a little bit blunted down. It comes down a little bit, and maybe it doesn't have a lot of reach. You can choke back on this a little bit though, no doubt about it. But I think it certainly has enough of a blade to do defensive task. People would probably say, well, why didn't you go with the Pacific Salt? And my answer would be, well, it's a little bit too large for me personally. Not so much in the handle and everything. I mean, it fits good. I mean, I've checked them out, and it was only like another $1 to get the bigger one. But it's 1 more ounce, so to be at 3 ounces compared to this 2 ounce. That's not such a deal breaker, but I really like the 2 ounce. I will have to say, it is so freaking awesome. You just don't even know it's on you. But the Pacific Salt is just an overall a much larger knife though. It literally is, just the handle alone is another inch. So it's not what you would call a compact knife. And people get it, they're actually a little bit surprised that it's like a 5-inch handle, and it's a big knife. I just needed something that I would actually really carry. And so I was just being honest with myself and say this is a good size and a good weight, and I'm really glad I did. Now that's one of the reasons why I got the fully serrated, not the plain edge. All my user knives, everyday utility type blades, are all going to be just fine edge. The serrated edge, full serrated, is what I wanted for my defensive knife for the most aggressive cutting, and so I'm really glad I got this. Now let's go over the rest of the specs. The overall length of this particular model, 7.02 inches. When you put it in the closed position, it's 3.99 inches. So it's just a hair smaller than the 4th generation Delica. The blade thickness is a 0.098 of an inch, or 2.5 millimeters. The blade length is a 3.03 inches. The edge length is roughly 2 10/16 of an inch. The handle is FRN, which is fiberglass reinforced nylon. It's very strong. Their version of it is very excellent. Even though there's no handle scales, but you really don't need this. You don't need any scales on this. It doesn't even flex or nothing. Let me try here. I can't hardly get any kind of flex out of it. Let me try again. maybe just a hair, but I can't really tell though. Maybe it's just the movement of the camera, but it doesn't feel like, I don't feel any flex, and I didn't see any really. So it's awesome. The steel is H-1 steel. We'll revisit that in a moment. The weight is 2 ounces even. Unbelievable. This is based on the 3rd generation Delica design by Spyderco. It's a 1-piece fiberglass reinforced nylon handle with the 100% rust-proof H-1 steel. So this steel, what they've done though, from what I understand, they've taken the carbon molecules out of the steel and they replaced it with nitrogen. I think that's just a very short and abbreviated version of what they did to this. This can literally just go in salt water for 100 years and there's not going to be any rust. Unbelievable. A rust-proof knife through and through, even the hardware, and we'll talk about that just in a second. This is the newest one version of it. This is their new non-reflective titanium carbon nitride, TICN coating. So titanium carbon nitride. So that's a new word for me. I'm just kind of getting more familiar with it. Basically this coating though helps for light discipline. So especially if you have military applications or if you're just kind of wanting to be more low-key, this would help. It has a partial hollow ground, so it's not a full deep hollow ground, a partial hollow ground, which is good. Full thickness spine. I did notice that though, even to the tip, it kind of holds a pretty decent thick spine. And of course, this is the fully serrated spider edge. It has a 14 millimeter trademark round hole, which is a little bit bigger. I believe it's another 1 or 2 millimeters bigger than like the Delica. And it's excellent though for when you have maybe gloves on, or if you just need to have a better deeper grip into it. It opens very well with one hand, and that's what it's made for one hand opening. And it has a lock back, obviously, with the David Boy dent to reduce accidental opening. See that little cutout in the back space there for the back lock of the closure bar. And lastly, though, we have the injection molded FRN handle with the volcano grip texture. You can see that there. It has very good grip on it, actually. This grip pattern, the volcano grip texture pattern, is useful when hands are wet. And we also have this titanium. It's a very long, it's a kind of an extended, longer titanium pocket clip that you can be reversed for tip-up carry from both the left and right side. So it also has the lanyard hole built into that particular screw that holds into the clip. And it's fully ambidextrous, the whole knife is. From the opening to the locking and unlocking to the clip, everything is ambidextrous, which is super awesome. And even this clip though has the coating that we were talking about, that TICN, titanium carbon nitride finish on it. So it's very nice, very nice. And once again, all the hardware, including these the pivot screws and the pins and everything, is made of a rust-proof alloys. This is 100% rust-proof. I thought maybe originally that they might have done and used and made those hardware out of the H-1 steel. They may have at first. I'm not for sure. I just heard rumors that they did, but I know that on this one that they're saying alloys. So I'm thinking that they're definitely not probably using it. Actually the H-1 steel, because I'm pretty sure they would have said that in there. So basically that's just the rundown of the specs. What do I think about it? I wear extra large gloves, as you can see. It fits perfect in my hands. There's jimping here on the thumb ramp, which is an excellent thumb ramp. I mean, it locks really good. There's no blade play any direction. Perfect, length blade for everyday carry. It weighs almost nothing at 2 ounces. Excellent serrations, very sharp. I did paper cuts, and it's just wicked. Overall, the grip is unbelievable. You don't really even need jimping down here. Maybe a little bit of jimping up here wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, but it's fine. And everything, even the pocket clip, even though it's not a deep pocket clip, because I want to use this for self-defense, I want this sitting up just a little bit out of the pocket for easier access and to purchase the knife and retrieve it out of my pocket. Overall, I give this a 5 out of 5 stars. This is my initial test. And I think this is going to also be the full review, all wrapped into one. I may have updates. I probably will in the future about this. I'm very excited to put this in my everyday carry rotation. And once again, this does not rust. Won't ever rust. Everything is made to be 100% rust proof. I highly recommend this kind of product, or any of the H-1 products. Depending on what size you want, they have everything from the keychain, like the ladybug, all the way up to full-size knives, like we were talking about with the fixed blades, and of course when we were talking about the Pacific Salt. These are great blades. The weight is just so amazing. I can't even get over it. In fact, I think that from here on out, I'm going to try to stay around the 2 ounce or below mark on my knives, just because I find myself carrying this in over the last few days since I've had it, like nonstop, and I don't even think about it, and I love it not bouncing around my pocket. And so, when you find a style of knife and a weight of knife and even a size of knife that works for you, for me, it's a little bit rare, to believe it or not. Even though I have quite a few of them, I've had to go through a lot of knives to find this one, and I was a little hesitant just because of the price. But believe it or not, depending on what Delica you have, that extra 0.4 to 0.5 of an ounce, basically about half an ounce more in weight than this, makes a big difference. I'm blown out of the water. I actually held them both hand in hand, one in each hand, and I couldn't believe how much it felt much more heavier, the Delica, than this Salt one. I mean, it's just a big difference, and I would have never thought that. So with that, though, I will have to say I'm still carrying, and I've gone back to this, primarily now. Even though the Shuffle 2 is awesome, I'm still going to be carrying that in rotation. But this is still my primary, just because this is basically about 0.8 of an ounce lighter than the Shuffle 2. But this is the Ka-Bar Dozer Hunter, and they're a coyote brown or tan, depending on, I think they changed it recently to a coyote brown, the way that they called it. But I do believe that they used to call it a tan, but whatever. This opens smooth. I oiled it and even loosened the pivot just a little bit. So this is now my primary. Probably like 2 out of the 3 times you would catch me wearing a knife or carrying a knife, which is pretty much every day, of course. So about 2/3 of the time I carry every day, I use this, and this is 2.2 ounces roughly. So just a hair over that Salt 1. And this is a great fine edge for cutting. I even was tempted to maybe even buy a Salt 1 all black and just a plain edge to complement the other one. But then, to believe it or not, though, this is just fine. I don't ever have any rust problems with this Ka-Bar, and it's a beautiful knife. It's light enough. It's just no reason to spend that much more, $80-some more on another knife when this does everything I need. So overall, I think this, in combination with my Salt 1, is a great combination. This one is the workhorse. The other one is a defensive blade. Together, they make a really nice light profile for carry, and so that's what I was carrying right now. In fact, I've been carrying it all day and most of yesterday, this setup, and it works really good. I've been actually even carrying this and tucked into my waistband with this lanyard sticking out so I can retrieve it, and in my side right pocket, my main pocket, I have my Spyderco Salt 1. That's just kind of the setup that I have now, and it seems like it's working out really good. Everything's very accessible and very comfortable, and that's the whole reason that you would get into these systems, because you want something that's usable and that's something that you would actually carry. As always, I hope you guys are well and enjoyed this gear review on Friday. We have our Gear Review Fridays with the Art of Prepping. You guys take care, and I'll catch you real soon.